Few individuals manage to navigate the steely world of corporate crisis management and the creative realms of children's storytelling with equal finesse. Mr. Ramendra Kumar is one of those rare individuals, an engineer and MBA by training, a corporate communicator by profession, and a storyteller by soul. Mr. Kumar has authored over 50 books with a staggering 1.5 million copies sold through the National Book Trust alone. However, perhaps his most moving narrative isn't one he wrote, but one he lived. His courageous battle with cancer, culminating in his crowning as the Mr. India Cancer Warrior 2025. Today, we sit down with the man who proved that whether it's a corporate crisis or a life threatening illness, the best way to win is through a powerful story and an unwavering spirit. Welcome to RSTV, sir. Jai Jagannath.
Jai Jagannath.
Sir, you have one rare fiat in your name, selling 1.5 million copies through National Book Trust alone. What is the secret of writing stories that transcend through regional and cultural linguistic barriers so effectively?
First of all, thank you for the lovely introduction and a very, very insightful question. I've always believed, and this I've learned from my father, that any story written only for entertainment will lose its purpose after a point of time. So the ideal combination is a story which has a hook which captures the reader, because if you don't have a hook, the child, especially in today's times where there are so many distractions, would move to some other medium. So a hook is important, but at the same time, equally important is a value. And the value should not be thrust down the reader's throat. It should be so subtly indicated that the reader internalizes the value without even realizing or knowing that he's done. So a subtle value and an entertainment, which is a hook, is the ideal combination. So I believe that I'm able to reach out with this combo to my readers, and I hope that my readers across age groups and backgrounds are able to appreciate the story, because I have attempted in my own humble way to write tales which are timeless. And that is the reason why so many languages, so many editions, and so many copies.
Great. Sir, you are a communication stalwart with about 3 decades of long experience in public relation or corporate communication at Sales Rourkela Steel Plant. So according to you, what are the fundamental rules in crisis management, or rather crisis communication?
Okay, let me ask you a question. Who do you think is the greatest communicator of our times?
We have always thought about Narada.
I would say that of our times, the present times, it's the so-called half-naked fakir, in the words of Winston Churchill, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. He brought down the biggest empire in the history of humankind to its knees with his incredible ability to reach out to people, to communicate his message. And his formula, according to me, was ETC, ethics, truth, and credibility. So his approach of managing a crisis, according to me, was the ideal one. And in Rourkela Steel Plant, me and my team, created a crisis communication module which has been adopted and adapted by many industries. So the fundamental thing, I'll give you a case study, that suppose there is an accident in the blast furnace and one person has died. So earlier when this news would come, it would reach the PR department, sometimes directly from the media, that have you heard that such and such a thing has happened. So what we decided was that we told the MD's office, I talked to the managing director and said that there should be a communication reaching the public relations first. I mean, like when the CEO's secretariat gets, we should also get at the same time. Right. Earlier, what would happen is whenever there was a crisis, the COC would be incommunicado. He would disappear, right? As a result, because of this vacuum, a lot of rumors, a lot of exaggeration by the union and by the other stakeholders would reach the media and they would start flashing it. Right? Within seconds, within minutes, that this has happened, that has happened, exaggeration, distortions, and everything else. So, what we did was that as per this module, the minute we got the information that one person has expired in blast furnace because of an accident, we would shoot a mail or a WhatsApp message to all the media guys that such and such a person has passed away, his name is X, his age is X, he stays in such and such a place, and his dependent family is this, and the management is assured that they will reach out with the best compensation package as per the rules of the company. Immediate information, right? So the media would welcome it because they are getting direct information from the source. Then, once the compensation package was delivered, we would again flash in the media that this has been done. And the strongest part would be the response of the CEO or the managing director. His compassion, his empathy would be underlined. So that created a kind of credibility over the months. And people started believing that yes, if there is a crisis, PR management would respond with what? With a message which was truthful, transparent, and that's how our credibility was built. And Mahatma Gandhi started doing that. So some of the basics are communicate instantly, don't wait. Then second thing is communicate truthfully, be transparent, and also treat your stakeholders as a partner in progress. For us, media, we were always antagonistic towards the media. The media is on the other side, we are this side, we are at loggerheads. But no, they are our partners in progress because we are dealing with the business of news, whether they are that side or this side. So once we started doing that, I think we did manage to create a credible image, and the response which we got. Okay, the other side of the story from the union and all would also be published, but our version would always be taken into account, and slowly our credibility became so high that people, the media guys started ringing us up for information.
Great. So your fight with cancer touched millions. You have also bagged the title of Mr. India Cancer Warrior 2025. Now, could you please tell us about your journey of winning tumor with humor, and how did the experience change you?
Yeah. So on 29th November at 12 o'clock, my family, my beautiful, gorgeous wife Madhavi, my pretty daughter Ankita, and my handsome son Aniket, we were sitting in front of the gastroenterologist who had a look at a few scans and blood reports and biopsy and declared absolutely matter of fact, poker faced, like he's reading out from a news report in Doordarshan in the good old 1970s. Mr. Ramendra Kumar, you've got colon cancer stage 2B. Then he talked about radiation and chemo and stoma bag and whatnot and all. I stumbled out of his chamber and we went to the hospital canteen, and there, Joydev, I simply cut loose. Why me? Poor me? How come me? I don't smoke, I've never touched alcohol, I'm slim and trim, I swim, I exercise. Then how the bloody hell has this scourge slammed into me? There were tears, there was frustration, there was angst, there was agony. Just then I noticed the faces of the three people I loved the most in my life simply crumple. It was as if they were seeing my death in my own eyes. At that moment I decided I couldn't do this to them. I had to change the narrative. It was not their fault that I had been slammed by this deadly disease. So as a writer, a storyteller, and an inspirational speaker, I had to rewrite my story, create my own paradigm, live it and love it. Now a bit of flashback. I've had a very scarred childhood. I am a suicide survivor at the age of 15. My parents divorced when I was 16. I suffer from a clutch of very serious ailments like brittle diabetes, where the sugar levels move from one extreme to the other, silent thyroiditis, where the thyroid levels operate also on extreme ends. In 2015, I was diagnosed with a condition called hemangioma, where there was a polyp growing near my vocal cords, and I was almost losing my voice. I was rushed to Apollo Hyderabad and the critical surgery was performed. In between, I had also trysts with COVID and tuberculosis. All this I managed with my mantra of fighting every tumor with humor. And now, when I was facing the biggest crisis of my life, I had to go back to this mantra of mine. And I did exactly that. So I went completely berserk on social media, Facebook, WhatsApp, Insta, with quirky, funny messages, parodies of Amitabh Bachchan's dialogues. When he goes to the temple and says, "Aaj to bahut khush hoge tum." So me telling cancer, "Cancer, aaj to bahut khush hoge tum. तुम्हारे पास मेरे lymph nodes हैं, मेरा colon है, मेरा blood है, लेकिन मेरे पास माँ है, Madhvi, Ankita, and Aniket." Then another dialogue where he says, "मैं और मेरी तन्हाई." So I address cancer. Cancer, मैं और मेरा कैंसर अक्सर बातें करते हैं, तुम न होते तो ऐसा होता, तुम न होते तो वैसा होता, लेकिन कैंसर, अगर तुम न होते तो ज़िंदगी लंबी तो होती, लेकिन बड़ी नहीं होती. And then my daughter and I, we did a dance video to Jawan Janeman Haseen Dilruba, which went viral across platforms. So what gave me the strength, apart from my own mantra, my own resilience, if we can call it that, was the incredible support of my amazing family. Can you believe it? I suffered during that 1 year period 3 septic shocks. The probability of surviving 1 septic shock is only 30%. 3 times I knocked on the door of death, shook hands with Lord Yamraj, and walked back to the kingdom of the living. My beautiful, gorgeous wife played Savitri to my Satyavan. I endured 4 major surgeries, 10 rounds of chemo, 5 rounds of radiation, and I was in the ICU for 40 days. During that period, when my family visited me in the evening, they were not very sure when they would find me alive the next day morning. But throughout all this, they never ever pressed the panic button. They never ever made me realize the kind of hell I was going through on a day-to-day basis. Joydev, you're a young guy, you would realize that many youngsters today, when it comes to a situation like this, they give their parents the best logistic support, like the most comfortable hospitals, specialized doctors, treatment, but they don't give their time, energy, and effort. My children, Ankita and Aniket, put their career and their life on hold for those 7-8 months, and they were with their mom and dad throughout this period. That was my greatest support. And what about my friends? The kind of, I was deluged with messages, WhatsApp calls, and Insta and Facebook posts. Across the spectrum, people in Rourkela, they lit diya in lamps in temples. There were prayers in masjid from Lahore to Lucknow to Assam. Buddhist incantations, invocations, prayers in gurudwaras and churches. My friends from public relations particularly, they would ring up. I remember Archana calling my wife every second, third day to find out at every stage. And I'm sure all my colleagues, they were praying for me in their heart. And there was this regional director of Indian Institute of Mass Communication, Professor Mrinal Chatterjee. He wrote a column on my fight with cancer in 2 newspapers. And one guy conveyed on Insta that his father was suffering from a disease of the artery and he couldn't get up, confined to a wheelchair. But when he saw my dance with my daughter, he actually made an attempt to walk. Tell me, how heartwarming is that?
True inspiration.
And also, there is a friend of my daughter who's the first lady vegan to climb Mount Everest. When she summited, she prayed to the Lord, thanked her parents, and prayed for my health. Now, with this kind of support, what could a damn scourge like cancer do to me? But above all this, I think what saved me was my faith in Lord Jagannath. In my heart, whether I express it or not, that feeling was there. Even when I was being rushed into the surgery and being brought out through multiple surgeries, through chemo and through my stint in the ICU, I had that faith that there is some power which is beyond all this, which is taking care of me. And if I'm today sitting here, it's because of Lord Jagannath.
That's absolutely the love of people and blessings of Lord Jagannath. Sir, how your writer's soul helped you winning this battle against cancer?
So, basically, as a writer, one has this ability to see things in the right perspective. And in my writing, there has always been one four-letter word which is there throughout, whether I write satire, or I write poems, or I write children's fiction, I write non-fiction, and that four-letter word is hope. And I think as a writer and as a storyteller, this word and my faith in Lord Jagannath carried me through.
Great. With over 50 books behind you and a fresh lease on life, what is the one story you want to put on paper?
The most important story is the story of my life. I have already written the first part. I'm writing the second part. And it talks about my struggles as a child, my tumultuous, the process of getting married to Madhvi, as is the intercaste marriage. There was a lot of opposition. We eloped and got married. I resigned my job, then joined back. I was junior to my wife for 12 years. Then finally I made up. All that, roller coaster. And finally, my fight with cancer. And the thread running through all this is my mantra and my belief that faith can move mountains, and resilience is your greatest armor, and the belief that there's a power out there will take you through. That is the crux of my autobiography.
Great, sir. Apart from being a writer yourself, you also mentor young aspiring writers. With the tsunami called artificial intelligence changing the entire narrative of the storytelling, what is your advice to the young writers?
I would tell them that, okay, every new technology comes with a lot of threats and opportunities, and every new technology, when it comes, there is a lot of talk about, it's going to replace the human mind, the human soul and all. But believe me, no intelligence, artificial or otherwise, can replace the human soul, the human touch. So I would tell the youngsters that use artificial intelligence as a tool, as a servant, not as a master. Because artificial intelligence can never ever replace the human compassion, the human empathy, the human connect. For instance, when I am writing a poem, I can fit in whatever I want. I can tell AI that I want this, I want this, I want that. But that subtle real life experience, that can never ever be substituted by any artificial intelligence. So the human touch is all powerful, and that is what is going to, stay forever and ever. So artificial intelligence, you can use it as a servant. Never allow it to dominate you and become your master.
Right, great, sir. Now we'll have a rapid fire round.
Yeah, shoot.
Your favorite character from your own 50 plus books?
My favorite character would be from my novel, which published by Penguin Random House, went into its second reprint. Research has been done on it, and that is about a boy who's around 11 years old. The book is against all odds, and this guy has a handicap. His one arm is short. His name is Karthik, and he's bullied because of that. He's obsessed with playing football, but he cannot play because his coach feels that football is too rough a game. So how he fights those bullies, and that is set in Rourkela. Most of it is set in Rourkela. That guy is, and he's studying in DPS. So how he fights those bullies, how he convinces the coach, and how he gets to play for his school and does wonders. That is the story. And here I would just like to, share that as a child, I was bullied a lot because I was extremely, extremely odd looking. They used to call me Monkey Brand, very skinny, and I was very shy. I'd like to go on the stage and speak, but whenever I would go on stage, I would stammer and stutter and couldn't speak at all. So I was subjected to a lot of ridicule and scorn, but I went through all that, fought all that, and came out of it. And now, stage, I own the stage, I love being on the stage.
And then we got the Ramendra Kumar who is sitting in front.
So that influenced this book, and that's why it's so, so close to my heart. And Karthik is right here with me.
A book you wish you had written.
There's a writer called P.G. Woodhouse. He writes humor, and he's written a book called Leave It to Smith, which has been my go-to book whenever I'm slightly down. And that's one book I wish I had written.
If your life were a book title, what would it be?
Staying Alive.
Nice. Plots or characters? What comes first?
Sometimes plots, sometimes characters. There's no real formula.
A lesson from hospital bed that the office never taught you.
That lesson is one of my favorite lines. The worst of times often bring out the best in you.
If your life were a movie, who should play the lead role, Ramendra Kumar?
Ranbir Kapoor. And you know the reason why? Badtameez Dil.
Badtameez Dil, great. And your favorite Hindi film dialogue?
Babu Mishai, Zindagi badi honi chahiye, lambi nahi. And the second one is Gabbar Singh, jo dar gaya, samjho mar gaya.
Great. Thank you so much, sir. We often look for heroes in fiction, but today we met one who writes it. Mr. Ramendra Kumar has reminded us once again that the most powerful thing a human can do is tell a story that gives someone else a hope. Thank you very much, sir, for sharing your story with us today. Jai Jagannath.
Jai Jagannath.